Hey guys, it's Dustin. Welcome back to the channel. February has come and gone super fast, and it's time to show off everything we got in terms of physical media. Also, stay tuned to the end of videos because I actually have 3 items that are not movie related, or they're not movies, but they are kind of movie related in a way, that I'm going to show off to you guys because I collect other things other than movies too. Before we get into it, guys, make sure you are subscribed. If you're not, hit the subscribe button. Give me a like, turn those notifications on, all that good stuff, because I upload a lot of content on physical media. I am a movie collector, and I love talking about movies, and I want to start live streaming on here and kind of discussing movies and stuff like that. So, yeah, at the end of every single month, we go through, and I show you everything I picked up for the month. Some months are super heavy, some months are super light, and this month was kind of in between. It was a decent month, and a little bit more than I expected it to be. It has also been a very busy month for me. My wife and I traveled to Las Vegas for her job, and I wanted to do movie hunting there, but honestly, time was not on our side, and we were exhausted, and I just didn't get to movie hunt, which is a-okay. But everything we got, I'm pretty sure were like online pickups minus like a couple things. So let's go ahead and get into the movies. We're going to start with this because this is the biggest one, and I just kind of want to get it out of the way. I uploaded an entire video on this yesterday that you guys watched. The John Wick Stash Book Collection. I'm not going to go into too much detail about it, but it is the last video on my channel, so go and check it out, and you guys can see this thing in full detail, because this set is amazing, and I love it, and I'm super happy to own it. It's like, I don't need any more copies of John Wick, but I could not say no to that. Next up, we have The Dark and the Wicked on Blu-ray. Now, this is a movie that I took a chance on because I saw a clip on TikTok and then somebody talked about it. Like, this movie is really scary, and I was unsure. And this movie was really cheap. I want to say it was like $6 or $7 or something like that. And I watched it, and when I tell you that this is genuinely the most scary, like the most terrifying movie I've ever seen, I mean it. Like, this movie really actually scared me. It's done so well, and it's so creepy, and just the tone. I mean, from the beginning of the movie until the end, like, the movie is just, it's very intense, and it's actually done, again, seriously probably the scariest movie I've seen that is a modern horror movie, because I know a lot of people kind of put Hereditary on this pedestal. Personally, I don't think Hereditary was really that scary. This scared me, and this is from the writer and the director of The Strangers. So if you like The Strangers, watch The Dark and the Wicked, because I'm telling you, this is one of the most terrifying movies you will watch. Hands down. This movie frightened me, and I loved every second of it. Next up, a pickup from Target. Creed 2. So I have all the Rocky movies. I have the heavyweight collection, and I found Creed 1 at the Dollar Tree, and I was actually talking to my friend Trav. I actually picked up the last copy for him too, because he's on the hunt for this movie, because Creed 3 is coming out, I want to say this Friday, so which is kind of crazy. But yeah, we were talking about the Rocky movies and then got into the subject on the Creed movies, and we both needed Creed 2 in our collection, and now we have it. So, Creed 2. I've been actually rewatching all the Rocky movies. They're really good. Next up, we have the Dentist collection from Vestron Video. Guys, this includes the Dentist 1 and the Dentist 2. I've never seen any of these movies, but judging by the cover art, I'm going to love them, because I love old, low-budget, crazy, over-the-top horror movies. They're just awesome. I don't know when this came out. 1998, The Dentist 2 came out. 1996 for the first one, so I'm definitely going to love these. I know it. Next up, we have the Wishmaster 4-film collection from Vestron Video. Oh, by the way, if you want to know about spine numbers, this is spine number 29. This is the newest release from Vestron. This is spine number 9, and I'm shocked that this came with a slipcover, to be completely honest with you. I do know of these movies. I think I've only ever seen, like, the first one, so I'm actually pretty excited to go back and revisit these. Next up, we have Studio 666. This is the movie that Dave Grohl actually wrote, from the Foo Fighters, the lead singer. So funny story about this. I've wanted to see this movie for a really long time because I love the Foo Fighters, and you know, like I kind of grew up listening to their music because my dad listened to a lot of this stuff, so it just kind of stuck with me. But I really like their music a lot, and I like horror movies, so it kind of just goes hand in hand. And funny story, again, my wife and I were in McDonald's and getting breakfast, and My Hero came on, and it just, like, for whatever reason, I thought about Taylor Hawkins passing and how his son played the drums to My Hero at his memorial concert, and I was like, oh my god, I really want to see this movie. And this movie just turned out to be like really cheap on Amazon, so I snagged it, and I'm glad I did. I watched it, and I liked it. It was actually kind of like a horror comedy in a way. Like it was funny, but like some parts were actually like done really well and actually like can be pretty scary. But I don't know, I really liked it. Studio 666. Check it out if you're a fan of the Foo Fighters. These next 4 films are the films that I picked up from the Grindhouse Video Arrow video sale. I'm not going to go into too much detail about them. I did a full unboxing. You guys can go back on the channel and find it. It was like the video before the John Wick video, so go watch that if you want to see these more in detail. Right here we have The Stylist. Now this was one of the ones that I kind of took a chance on. It was a blind buy for me because I haven't heard anything about this movie, and I was really curious. I remember just looking through like the movies that were on sale, and this like popped out to me. I think the cover is like what I really gravitated towards because it's purple, and purple's my favorite color, and just the way it looks. Like I don't know, I'm like, huh, interesting. It's called The Stylist. So like I read the synopsis and I watched the trailer, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is going to be a movie that's right up my alley, and it was. Super good movie. Highly recommend it. This Blu-ray release from Arrow Video of the German horror film called Sleep. This was one that I've wanted for a super long time, and I haven't watched it yet. I do plan on getting to it soon, but I'm really excited to check this out. This movie looks really awesome. Basically, it is about this girl who has these recurring nightmares about this place, and then she finds out this place is real, and she goes there, and the things that she's dreaming about are happening in real life. Cannot wait. Next up, another one that's been on my radar for a long time, Alice, Sweet Alice. This is a slasher from 1976. You guys know I love my old horror movies, especially old slasher films. They make me happy. Cannot wait to check out Alice, Sweet Alice. Then we have George A. Romero's The Crazies, the original one. And I've mentioned it in the past video. I went back and tried rewatching the remake because I didn't know that at the time that like the one that I was watching when I was younger was the remake based off this. So I'm super happy to check out this one. This one was from 1973, so it's an older film, but it's George Romero. So, I mean, come on now. It's gonna be good, let's be honest. Next up, we have a Lionsgate release, Warm Bodies. This steelbook is gorgeous. The only bad thing is I kind of got like a ripped slipcover here, but it's not really a big deal. This movie came out in 2013, and it's really good. My wife and I watched this the day it came in, and we had a really good time with it. This movie is a lot funnier in parts than I remember because I haven't seen it since back then, but this steelbook from Lionsgate, absolutely gorgeous. You guys know they do the transparent slipcovers. And then here's this steelbook. I mean, it is just, the artwork is fantastic. This movie is really good. Watch it if you haven't watched it in a while, or if you've never watched it at all. It's a good one to watch with your significant other. I think you guys would really like it. Next up, we have a gift from Lucas. Guys, I'm going to leave a couple channel links down in the description if you guys could go check them out. One to Lucas, another one to my buddy Trav. Guys, Lucas is actually a daily vlogger here on YouTube, and he's actually closing in on Charles Trippy's world record for most consecutive vlogs uploaded. Lucas is going to take it because Charles stopped, but I know Lucas is going to do it. He's an amazing person, been through hell and back, and just never skipped a beat with uploading videos. So I highly recommend it. Go check out Lucas. And he got this, Peacemaker, Season 1 on Blu-ray. Kind of like a running joke with us was when this show came out, Lucas was he had a 3D printer, and he was going to 3D print me the Peacemaker helmet, and I had to reenact a scene from it. And we never got around to it, but you know, like the Peacemaker is just kind of like an inside joke with us. But he scooped this for me because I've actually been looking for the Blu-ray for this for a really long time, and I just didn't want to pay some of the prices. I mean, some of these Blu-ray copies were going for $35 to $40, and I know it's a television show, so it makes sense, but I just didn't want to pay that, and I believe he found this on Amazon for like $20, which is a really good deal. You know, I'm a DC fanboy. I love the DC movies. I like the first Suicide Squad movie. I love Birds of Prey. Love the new Suicide Squad movie, and especially John Cena's character. This show is hilarious. I'm telling you, this show is hilarious. You gotta watch it. It's on HBO Max, or just go pick it up. And then last but not least, for the movies, we have Belly on 4K. This is a movie that is from the 90s. I mean, it has DMX, has Nas, has Method Man. Very crazy. The beginning of this movie is like really good, and then it kind of slows down in some parts, and then it picks up, and it slows down, and it picks up, and then it slows down. So it's kind of all over the place like that, but this is actually a really good movie. Definitely more of like a crime drama, if you're into that stuff, but it's really good. Lionsgate actually put out a really nice steelbook for this. This is just the standard slipped 4K version. I didn't need to go get the steelbook, but really cool. This was relatively cheap. I picked this up at Walmart. I want to say the week it released or the week after it released, and it was like $15. Like it was actually a really good price. So I decided to scoop it because I love DMX. I like Nas. I like music. So I definitely wanted to pick this up, and I remember very vaguely my parents actually having this on DVD when I was like younger. So, you know, Belly, great movie. Now for the stuff that isn't movies, but just things that I collect. First up, when my wife and I were in Las Vegas, we went to a store called Nightmare Toys, and they had a bunch of Funko Pops. They had a bunch of movies, T-shirts. I actually got a T-shirt and a Funko Pop. I didn't get anything from the movie section. We were kind of on like a time crunch because we were going somewhere, so we were only in the store for a few minutes. So I just grabbed a couple things that I knew I wanted. This was one of the things I didn't know they had, but I've been looking for it everywhere because my wife and I are a fan of Machine Gun Kelly. This Funko Pop. When I saw that these were being released, I knew that I wanted them. Like, you got the double X there. Like, I literally have the double X tattooed on my hand. Like, I like Machine Gun Kelly. Before the whole pop punk transition too. Like, I've been a fan of him for probably the last 10 plus years easily. But they had this, and it was like $8. So I looked at my wife and I was like, look, we have looked so many places around us. Like, anytime we've gone to stores that sell Funko Pops, I've looked. I've just never been able to find them, not even at Hot Topic. So super glad to have picked him up in Las Vegas. I really like it. So say what you want about him. I like Machine Gun Kelly. Next up, these are movie related, but they're not movies. They are books. I actually like to read. Not a lot of people know that. But yeah, I really like to read. So before we went to Las Vegas, my wife and I decided to pick up books because it was like a 5-hour flight. We live in Pennsylvania. It was like a 4.5, 5-hour flight there. And we knew that because of excitement, we really wouldn't be able to sleep too much on the plane. So she was like, I want to get books for us to read. So this is the book that I picked up. The Black Phone, Joe Hill. Now, when I picked this book up, I thought it was based the book on just the Black Phone. Turns out it says the Black Phone Stories. So this is like a series of horror short stories written by Joe Hill, and the Black Phone is included in it. But it's just a bunch of short stories. And I'm telling you now, I'm almost halfway through. A lot of the stories that I've read about a dozen of them probably so far, could be movies. But I'm excited to read The Black Phone here because I do love this movie. I own the movie. But I actually really, really enjoy this book. I highly recommend it if you guys like short stories that are based around horror. I'm telling you, good book. Really like it. Highly recommend. And then this one is a gift from my friend Trav. He's the one I picked up the copy of Creed 2 for. He knows that I like to read. We do discuss books kind of quite often, him and I, because he's more of like the audible person. I like having physical books. I like turning physical pages, because for me with audiobooks, I just lose interest. I get distracted too easy. So like when I actually have a book and I'm reading it, you know, it keeps me more focused on what I'm reading, and then I remember what I'm reading more. But he sent this as a gift, and it was funny because he's like, you have something coming in the mail and you'll never guess what it is in a million years. And he was right. This is a book written by Seth Rogen called Yearbook. And basically, this is a collection of short stories that Seth had wrote about life experiences, meeting celebrities, and being on sets of movies, and just things that he experienced growing up, and, you know, like his drug use and things like that. This is a hard copy. Amazing. I cannot wait to get into this. I'm trying to finish up the Black Phone short stories, but cannot wait to get into this. So guys, I'm going to leave a link to Trav's YouTube channel down in the description below. He's a food reviewer and he's awesome, and he's like, I've known him for over 10 years now, and he's a great person. So yeah, Yearbook by Seth Rogen. So that is everything, guys. Stay tuned. I already got some good stuff arriving for the month of March, so stay tuned, and yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.